Alright, we're doing the Sig 938, the Scorpion edition. This is the flat dark earth model that you've probably seen in the top 5 concealed carry guns. We're going to take it out and test it. Warm. Again, super warm, uncomfortably warm. We're going to get out here and do it anyway. Alright, some quick real life specs on this thing, since you guys know I don't like doing the factory stuff on it. If you care about it that much, go check it out on their website, because it's all kinds of information out there. Let's see here. This one is a little bigger than 5 inches. If we come down here with the beaver tail, we're looking at about just under 6 inches with that. Overall height, let's see here. We're looking at about, with that little extended magazine, probably around 4.5 inches with that sight sticking out the top. So 4.5 inches on that. With the grip itself, you're looking at about 3.5 inches. If you're looking from the top of the trigger guard to where the bottom of the pinky rests, about 3.5 inches, roughly, right around there. Alright, so in my hand, looking at the size, because I always do this in my videos, we are just under 3 inches. Just under 3 inches. That's just to give you a rough idea how it's going to feel in your hand. If you ever want to bust out a tape measure or a ruler, you can kind of get a feel there. And with these, let's see, my finger is right there. This is just like the perfect fit for me. Really, really nice, really comfortable grip. If you have any bigger than 3-inch fingers, you're probably going to be hanging off a little bit on the edge. With the extended magazine, there's also a flush magazine that sits in there just like that. You wouldn't even notice it looking at it from this angle. But the pinky really hangs off the bottom. Not too crazy about that, so I got rid of that flush magazine and got myself a second extended magazine. Totally, totally worth it. Now with a lot of Sig stuff, they offer these night sights. You're gonna get, factory night sights with these. They also have cheaper versions of these firearms in general. I don't think they make them for the Sig 938, could be mistaken, but they have contrast sights that make the gun a little bit cheaper if you're looking to rock out with the budget ordeal. These are totally worth it in my opinion, just because they have this flat, surface right here. And the reason Sig designed them that way is so, like, if you were to be shot in the arm or something, we'll say this is your belt, and you wanted to rack the slide, you could do it with your belt. Just put it on your belt, push forward, and there you go. You're back in the fight. That is a very, very good deal in my opinion, and I just really, really like that. I mean, I think that's a cool feature, and all those tactical guys out there, they can totally appreciate that. But in a real life scenario, that is totally, useful in my opinion. Now when we're talking about left-hand shooters, which would include myself because I am a lefty, this thing is really, really, thoughtful in the process of design, just because they have a left-handed safety right there, and it's ambidextrous for both sides. But that's a real benefit, just because a lot of the people that are, right-handed shooters out there, they don't really think about the left-handed people, because, let's face it, there's not as many left-handed shooters as there are right-handed shooters. But, given the fact that this one is ambidextrous, safety-wise, that is super cool, because you can carry this thing, let's see, it's empty, but the hammer's back, and if you wanted to carry it safely, all you'd have to do is put safety on. And for us lefties or righties, you just draw, and as you're drawing, get yourself familiar with thumbing the safety there. Just a little quick sweep, and you're good to go. I mean, this thing's ready to go to war. I like that. Now, when you're talking about these SIGs, you have to talk about the overall look of them. Not only are they functional firearms, but they are just really attractive looking. I mean, honestly, Sig really, dumps a lot of thought into creating these guns and all the different models and everything that they've got. And these are just really sleek looking guns. This is my Carter right here, and let's see if I can focus in on it. It just looks really sharp. in general. Not sharp in the sense that it's going to hurt you, but sharp looking like somebody wearing a three-piece suit. I mean, they really put some effort into this. They got a lot of texturing all over it, you know, really good spots to get a good grip on it. Now, they don't have any here, which is okay for me, you know. It's a small concealed carry firearm, so I don't necessarily need it under there. But all over, it's just got, you know, spots that you're not going to slip around. And that's a really good deal as far as I'm concerned. And overall, this thing just has so many good looks to it. It's just a sharp-looking firearm. Really like that. Another cool thing that I like to address with this is the slide stop. This one, it doesn't protrude too much. I mean, you can see it a little bit there, but it's really not noticeable when you're carrying it. But a cool feature about that is it has that little shelf right there. So when you're actuating it, you can just do a quick thumb swipe and it's just ready to go. You know, it's really easy, and that's just a plus in my opinion. Now, when you're looking at other guns, for example, the Shield, with these polymer guns, it doesn't necessarily show that much. It's really almost flush, that slide stop. But when you go to swipe your thumb across it, it really doesn't catch that easy. And you really kind of got to push down. I mean, it's not a lot of force that you're exerting, but you really do have to push a little bit to get that to work. And I mean, that's neither here nor there. Some people do the overhand thing when they rack the slide. But, you know, some people like to use the old thumb sweep there. And with these kind of guns, and with a lot of other makers, Glock included in that, it takes a little bit more effort, not a lot, but a little bit more effort to, you know, actuate the slide stop. With this one, very simple. Just bam, there you go, done deal. I love that. Now, being designed as like a concealed carry or EDC gun, it's really nice that they use this aluminum frame with this gun, just because it's really lightweight and it's manageable. You know, you're not going to notice it while carrying it. Even, you know, if it's loaded to capacity, it's really not bad. This thing is just super lightweight, but it still feels like a durable, heavy-duty gun. And it's not overbearing, and I really appreciate that they put that stuff into it. Even the, I don't know if you can see here, let me see if this focuses in. It's not going to focus, I don't think. But even the, there we go. Even the magazine release is metal, and it's just like a textured kind of heavy-duty metal, and I really like that. I mean, they put a lot of thought into this thing. Now, when you buy your 938, there's a couple different, you know, models, probably about 20, and there's a price range there. There's like a low 600s to high 700s, or mid 700s, right around in there. And they vary depending on, you know, the way they look, the design, and also the magazines. So with this model, you're gonna get a extended magazine like that with a pinky extension, and you're gonna get one that's flush, that sits right in there, and it's gonna look just like that. You're gonna have your finger hanging off the edge if you get one of those. Not real crazy about that idea, so I traded it and added a little bit of cash on top, and I got a second extended magazine. These are expensive. They are in the mid $30 range for a new one. Now, Sig makes they make theirs all generally pretty expensive, but I know that there's aftermarket ones for their larger pistols. There may be aftermarket magazines for this. I'm not 100% on that. But when you buy this, you have to factor in that you're going to spend some money on these. Not an issue for me, because honestly, that's a concealed carry gun. I am not going to go buy 4 or 5 magazines for it, just because it's only ever going to be carried on my hip. This is not a range gun for me. This is going to be a gun that I carry on me, and I really only ever carry 2 magazines at most. Generally, probably 1. And with these magazines, you're going to get 7 rounds of 9mm plus 1 in the chamber. So you got 8 rounds right there. And honestly, in my opinion, you may or may not need more than that. So if you do, just get a second magazine. You're good to go. That's just how I look at it. And you know, it's worked for me thus far. I haven't had to pull it, but you know, it is what it is. All right, now to address the negatives on this firearm. I don't necessarily consider it a negative. Some people may, you know, based on your experience with different pistols. The trigger on this is very much like your standard GI 1911s. When you're pulling this thing, see, it is free and clear, nothing in there. When you pull the trigger on this thing, it's just very blocky, just like your, you know, standard 1911 trigger. And when you go to reset it, same thing. Let's see, watch. Audible reset, and that's where it is. It's right there at the front. So the reset is right at the front of the trigger pull. So it's just very standard 1911 style feel to it. It is kind of blocky. Now, I'm sure there's tons of people that do trigger jobs on these, but you're looking at putting in $100 to $150 on something like that. And I'm just not prepared to spend that much money on a gun that I'm going to carry. You know, I'll probably EDC this a lot more often, but I'm not going to put another $150 into it. It's fine as is. Like I said, it is my most accurate firearm. You just have to get, you know, acclimated to it. just like with your standard, striker fire polymer guns, I'm used to those. And the reset's a little bit different, and the way it operates is just, a little bit different. But like I said, this thing, anybody can adjust to it. It just takes time and, practice. So I don't know if that's considered a negative, but there it is. Now another one of these really cool features that comes with this thing is this box. This is a really nice box. It's just one of those, polymer SIG boxes that they send out with most of their firearms. If you check it out, you get the normal stuff, paperwork, instruction manuals, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna get your safety lock. There's where you keep your spare magazine, assuming you get one. If you get one of the cheaper models, you may not get a spare magazine, you may just get the one, but they always leave a spot in there for an extra one. And you get this sweet holster. Now this does not apply to me because obviously I am a left-handed shooter, but when you put that thing in there, it locks in pretty tight and snug. You can adjust the tightness there with that little screw. It's nice. It really isn't bad at all, honestly, if you're gonna carry it. I probably could carry this inside the waistband if I wanted to, but I'm just not gonna, because that hard plastic against the skin, I'm not real crazy about that idea. So as a right-handed shooter, you could carry this outside on your belt and that would work just fine. It is just a little clip thing there, and it does have a little rattle. That's just because I never ever use it, so I haven't really tightened it down or anything, but it's still a bonus, coming from SIG. It's got the cool name on it. There it is. That's the stuff you're gonna get. I mean, look at the fit and finish on this thing. It's definitely a dream. Alright guys, make sure you hit that like button down there, because we're going to have more videos coming out in the very, very near future. I'm really reinvigorated. I'm ready to pump them out. So make sure you're subscribed, and you're going to get, an opportunity to get some of these stuff that we send out. We do a lot of giveaways. So make sure you're, up to date on your subscriptions. Alright fellas, later.